Hello, this is Palico Page and welcome back to another episode of the Curious Expedition 2 Steam Early Access. And we have just successfully completed our first sojourn into the unknown on the islands without our hands being held by the lovely Victorian Malin. The thing is that we are still opening up things within the game which we haven't had access to before. So before we go into our next jaunt into those nasty islands we've come across, we shall have a quick look around here and then we shall crack on with the next one, probably on a more slightly harder difficulty because there's more fame and fortune to be gotten that way, and well, hopefully survive. I will just say at this point, for anybody who's watched me over a long period of time when it comes to playing the original Curious Expedition, I am a stickler for going out and searching every particular curiosity which is on those islands. Whenever I come across a question mark, I am there going to see what's all about it, and it just goes against this natural one for using the word again, curiosity on finding out exactly what everything is on each island and getting as much treasure as I can. Goes against the very grain of the way I play these games to leave question marks not taken. And that's something which I've had to swallow when it comes to playing this new game. This game isn't built to allow you to search the entire island every single time. There will be times when you can, but there will be times when sometimes it's just best to just cut your losses and escape whilst you can, be that through finding the pyramid or completing objectives or even going back to your ship, because at least going home relatively empty-handed is better than not going home at all. So again, just something to keep in mind. You do need a slightly different mindset when it comes to playing this game compared to the old. But again, new game, new mindset, I suppose. So let's crack on. Now, I did say in the last episode we would have a look at these academies and see what the hell's going on with these, and also what this is in the bottom right-hand corner. So we'll start with the journal in the bottom right-hand corner. First thing to mention is where it says map the islands. Now, this wasn't actually opened up to me until I got past this third circle here. What this is you connect to the servers, and depending on which academy you are vying for, you can actually find areas, and as long as you make it back from the expedition, you score points for that certain academy. And if you get the highest academy point scoring, you are allowed this lovely little hat with a feather in, this amount of fame and this amount of expo tickets here. I actually chose the Lux Lab one, which is my score here, 5. Someone else, or maybe several people, decided to go with another faction. Their loss. I think the Lux Lab are awesome from the outset, but there you go. So that's not something I'm going to win. But this, I believe, is something which will tick over every week, 2 weeks, month, I don't know. But it is something which will tick over in time. So I guess that's the sort of thing which is being sculpted on the Curious Expedition Rivals, where you're working towards a bigger goal, and if you were to choose the best team, then obviously you have the opportunity of getting the extra fame and expo points. Don't know what this hat does. You can't click it or right click it and find out the stats. It would be nice if you could do that. I have brought that up as a pointer to the producer, but we'll see what comes of that. So that's what that is, but you won't get that until after you've completed this first mission. These 3 circles here represent different expeditions you can do in a certain year. So because the year is 1886 and is basically our starter year, we are going to do 3 expeditions. So we've already done the first, so we get a nice little tick there. We're about to do the second, and then we have this golden circular one. This is the end expedition for the year, and from what I have found out so far, this is a story mission. So these two are pretty random. This one is actually set. Now, that doesn't mean that the actual island is set or what happens on that island, what is procedurally generated, but the story behind that mission is set. So that's what you have to go on and do. I guess it's like a soft test to see how well you're doing, because there are several times when I have failed this. The nice thing is, if you were to fail with your explorer, you don't automatically go back to 1. So you're not starting from 0 and having to build yourself up again. You will be going from that set mission you're up to, which again can have its advantages and disadvantages, because if your whole team wipes, you have to start with your basic team again. But by the by, part of the game. So let's go on to the academies. We have the Lux Labs. Eddie Bot looked at me impassively as I entered the club's main hall. I found myself adjusting my collar nervously under the thing's flat gaze. So as you can see, it's a bit of a sciencey, androidy type place. Very much sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, that word, which means Victorian, cyberpunky type thing. It's got a special word. I know what I mean. I just can't say right now. So we have display unlocks. We haven't played with this faction this time around, so he's going to have nothing. It's going to be empty, as you can see, but these are the possibilities of what you can get, depending on what level you're going up to. Now, all of these different academies do have a special thing that they can do for you, regardless of what level you are with them. With Lux Labs specifically, we have upgrade equipment. So you can select that, and for a certain amount of expo tickets, you can actually upgrade your equipment to a better role. So, for instance, here we have, for 3 expo tickets, we can upgrade it. Not quite sure how right now. It looks exactly the same, in all fairness. A simple but reliable pistol. I don't think there's any change there. However, I do know on level 3, because again, in my playthrough, I got my pistol up to level 3. You do get an extra side filled in by a different style of roll. I guess it's just trading value right now. You go from 55 francs to 60 francs. But definitely on level 3, you do get an extra side on your die. But we're not going to worry about that for the time being. And then we have the challenge status. And this is who you are when it comes to playing through that game I just told you about. So again, won't worry about that for the time being. We also have the Royal Avalon Society. Miss Farlow welcomed me graciously to the club's main hall. And here, as you can see, you have your display unlocks, once again, depending on what levels you are. And also, we have, as their special little thing they do for you, is cure ailments. So for 3 expo tickets, we can actually cure ailments of anybody in your party who has any negative traits you want to get rid of. But here, looking over my party, I was surprised to realise that a lot of us were already clear of any nervous disorders. It seemed that clean living truly did pay off. Well, for the time being anyway. And then we have the Taishi Academy. The historian smiled enigmatically up at me from atop his perch. He waited silently for me to make a request. So we can actually train up our character here. We can display our unlocks, which we'll do in a second, and we have our club shop. Again, I will go into that in a second. Training the character, if we were to do this, I looked over my crew and considered who would benefit most from the teachings here. So what this does is this gives you, I believe it's 20 experience. So it's a way of getting people who may be a little bit behind your party as far as the base experience of everyone going is concerned, becoming more level. So as you experience more items on the island, they all level up at the same time. At least that's how I've taken it. Obviously, as you can only take on one person per stopover in Paris, there is a sort of stepping system to who gets upgraded first. So if there are certain people within your party who you'd like to get up to the highest level sooner, you can use these guys. But we're not too fussed by that, because expo tickets are very valuable, especially this early on in the game. Again, we shall display unlocks. The reason I've left this till second from last is because we have an unlock. We have the Academy Master, a learned scholar who has unlocked the secrets of manipulating the natural world. Now, in my experience, this means that if we were to take her on, she actually produces scrolls. Not randomly. Every set amount of days, she produces a scroll which you can either use or sell on, which can be quite useful. But you can't select her here. That's because you have to go to the club shop. And there you can buy them. So it is 5 tickets. Let's do it, shall we? Let's do it. So that leaves us 3 tickets. I was sure I wouldn't regret my purchase. Let's have a quick look at our team now. So we do have a full team. We do have a full team. Academy Master, let's have a quick look. Wu Min, loyalty 2 or 4, days to create school 30. So every 30 days they create a scroll even. Awesome. We do have Feeble Punch, distracting illusions. So there's a weakness added on there and the capacity of 2. So not too bad. I am interested to see what sort of scrolls are produced. From my experience of playing with that person, in the past, because I've reset this game a couple of times to be able to experience things. There are some pretty new and interesting scrolls out there, so we shall look at that as and when they pop up. I return to the clock once more, making myself comfortable. So we can recruit at this point. Would I recruit anyone? I suppose we better see who wants to be recruited. I gave word that I was looking for hardy men and women to join my expedition. Soon I had gathered a small set of brave adventurers to choose between. So we have the translator, we have the field nurse, that's a heal speed plus 20%, village rest sanity of +1, and Christopher Smithson the sailor. Free naval flare for scouting terrain, and naval flare cooldown of -2. Now, again, in my experience of playing this game so far, sailors in the original game, for me at the very least, were pretty useless. Yes, they had their cost and flare advantage, which wasn't really here or there for me. But what I found interesting with this version of the sailor is he actually acts like a tank. So you can actually get him taunting people and just getting all the damage put onto him, and therefore you only have to worry about healing one person unless they have a group attack. So that can be quite useful. However, we do have a full team. I'm quite happy with the team right now, although that might change later on. So we'll leave that as is. The next two things, which are brand new, is the equipment dealer and the financier. We'll start with the financier. After a few minutes search, I found a financier who would help fund the expedition. In exchange for a few expo tickets, I would receive more funding on the next expedition. And this is where you can actually put up your money for the next expedition. It is only per expedition. Take that into consideration. So if I was to go for +25 budget here, that is only +25 budget for the next expedition only. That is not constantly from here on in. So again, a case of having to balance out your expo tickets compared to how much money you want or how hard you think the next expedition is going to be. I'm quite happy with not wasting expo tickets right now. I'm more interested in going to the equipment dealer. Now that is because I approached the equipment dealer hoping to find a good deal of necessary tools for my travels. This is the person you come to be able to outfit your trek with new items. So we have the shotgun, the hunting rifle, the sensor, the machete, a saddle, a rabbit's foot, and a leather girdle. They all have their advantages. As far as what we can afford this time around, we can go for the sensor, which is an incense burning used for religious ceremonies, emits a soothing scent for a bit more sanity, and a couple of blue-sided rolls on a die. Or we have the rabbit's foot, a lucky rabbit's foot, not so lucky for the rabbit. This is the one I'm going to go for, simply because combat rolls are quite handy. I think they're more handy than having the incense burner with the extra sanity. 15 sanity isn't really here nor there, I don't think. He says. I think it's handy to have 2 combat rolls. Yeah, we'll go for that. So there we go. We have bought a lucky rabbit's foot. Boom. Now, one thing I didn't do last time around, which I probably should have, I'm going to take the gun off Cornelius and I'm going to give it to Captain Newton Calley, simply because of that combat buff, increases damage when using guns. I'm also going to give good old Capitan the body +1. It doesn't make much difference who you give this particular item to, but there are items you can equip to the body which will offer buffs to certain people, whereas this is more of a group buff, being able to re-roll once more. So we shall leave that there, and I think we're ready to crack on to the next expedition. A lot of stuff to explain there. I hope you all took it in. Hopefully this won't be too weird. Trials and triangulations. Understanding of the Curious Islands is poor at best. By performing survey calculations, you can advance our knowledge of these strange islands for only 2 expo tickets, or we can look for the Lost Explorer. One of our top explorers has gone missing. Locate them and help them complete their task for 3 expo tickets. We're needing the expo tickets, I feel. We are needing the expo tickets. Yeah, let's do it. We're going to stick with the Taishi Academy because that's who we've chosen. And you are currently pledged to the Taishi Academy's challenge. Working for another club will not increase your progress here. Are you sure? Yes. It was my last night in Paris, and I decided to celebrate over drinks. When I entered the tavern, my attention was instantly attracted to a sailor who was standing at the bar drinking a beer. He looked like he had a couple of stories to tell I needed to hear. I couldn't hold back, got myself an ale and approached the sailor. He seemed to have just waited for this opportunity, and with delight he told me about his adventures on the far mystery islands that I would soon see myself. After he ended his story, the sailor reached into his duffel bag and handed me a package with the words that it should be useful for my travels. 2 climbing gear. Thank you, good sir. Thank you. They are actually quite useful. Wandering natives will be more helpful if your standing is high. Indeed. Right, so let's go to the supply ship. As I neared the site of the expedition, a small supply ship pulled alongside. I wondered what the Taishi Academy had in store for me. What do you have? Oh, it's a scroll. Earth sink scroll. Pushes terrain downwards, causing it to sink into the earth. Not too fussed by that. Again, issues with sanity. So we need to just buy alcohol, really. 90. How much are they? 6. So let's buy 7 of those. Leaves us with 20. I'm going to buy 2 medikits and a light. Or torch, as normal people call it. We could arguably swap out one of the medikits for a couple of combat vigors. I think I'm going to leave it. I quite like that. New item, which nobody's seen before, is the 4-leaf clover, and that just gives you the chance of re-rolling your die. But because we picked up the rabbit's foot, I'm not too fussed about picking those up right now. Yeah, we're good. As you can see, there's a lot more thought which needs to go into what you're actually going to take per expedition, which is something you definitely have to mull over a bit more than just grabbing whatever you think it might come up. You need to actually have a little bit of strategy behind you. Saying that, we're going to grab some water and begin the expedition. Somewhere on the island before me, one of the Taishi Academy's explorers had gone missing. I was to find them and help them achieve their goals, or theirs goals, as it's written there. With no additional information, I would simply have to explore every location to find the lost explorer. Okie dokie. So we pull in. We see what's around. Yeah, it's dry lands. That's not too bad. Let's have a quick look at the island. It's all right. Nothing too cray-cray. We might as well head to this first question mark and see what's going down. Oh, it's a shrine. Oh, it's a shrine. Where do we go? So we've got to go around there anyway. So we can stop there, hit this, carry on. So yeah, that side of the shrine is good by me. A forgotten temple stood gathered or bathed in light before us. I could hear the roar of turbulent water. Not turbulent, as if a great river lay buried beneath my feet. This is the first time I've had water come up on this, so I'm quite interested to see how it acts. Inside was a small empty chamber, a long hallway leading to the main altar. I stepped carefully, wary of traps. So, you do actually have an extra option when it comes to shrines in Curious Expedition 2. You can search for secrets using your die. As you can see, you can use your torch as well if need be, and you have a required roll and you have a bonus roll. Now, do I do it? 33% chance on 3? It's pretty good. Do or die, I suppose. Oh, we did it, and we got the bonus. Awesome. So not only do we have a success, but we have better loot. Cool. Shifting the scattered debris in my search, I uncovered a hole in the floor just large enough to fit inside. In the gloom beneath, I could see another chamber. So we can go down with the rope, or we can use the green again. Because we have the advantage of getting up onto plateaus without having to use the rope, I'm going to use the rope at this point. I tied a rope to a sturdy pillar and carefully lowered myself into the chamber below. The space below the entry chamber was damp and mossy. I felt earth beneath my feet and could hear water dripping quietly. Several odd mushrooms sprouted in one corner. What you got? We've got the euphoric mushrooms even. This peculiar mushroom smells strikingly sweet. While under its sway, all of one's problems seem to be gone. So that's loyalty. Then we have the introspection mushroom. It is rumoured that this fungus grants insight into oneself, making it possible to overcome one's mental afflictions. My favourite mushroom, that one is. That could be good for party loyalty. I don't know how our party are doing loyalty-wise. Can't check right now. Let's take them all. I picked a few of the more colourful mushrooms, recognising their strange properties. When I could find no more, I climbed back through the hole into the entry chamber. So, thing to note. If I was to leave right now with whatever I got, and it is possible to gather treasure before entering the altar chamber, you don't get the penalty for the shrine falling apart or the reputation hit with the natives. So it is possible to go into shrines these days and not take such a massive penalty as you used to if you wanted to get the gold, which is nice. It's an option. However, I'm greedy. So let's carry on. I considered the main chamber once more. I stood before an altar carved with pictographs of waves and drowning men, the sound of water rushing in my ears. Let's have a look. Oh, it's another golden llama and a vase. We took the treasure and fled outside as gushing torrents of water burst through the walls and began to flood the surrounding area. Look at that. It's all falling down around us. We ran. We ran. Let's run. So, water. So this is new for me. I don't know how it's going to react. I would suspect it's going to be much like the old one. However, it does mean that we can't go back to the ship, because we would be blocked off, I feel. Or at the very least, we'd have to do a big loop. Before we travel, how's the loyalty of our team? 3, 3, 2. Donkey is always loyal. So let's use the loyalty on Wu Min. Oh, they all get it. Oh! 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 Did that just work? 4 out of 4. 4 out of 4. 3 out of 4. Oh, so it's for everyone. You don't actually have to choose just one person. Oh, that's good. I like that. Right. So do I want to go back and drop those bits off? I think we could do a loop. Let's see what happens with the water. Oh, Lord. Well, that was a bad idea. Okay, return to the ship. Our vessel was still offshore where we anchored it. I paused to appreciate the beauty of our vessel. So, let us go to ship storage. And we're going to drop off you. Might as well keep you. And thank you very much. Now, at this point, I don't know if I want to wait around. We return to our ship, laying eyes on it. Again, made me a little homesick. Simply because if we rest, I don't know if that water's going to envelop us or not. And we die. So let's go back to the expedition. So, it looks like we're going high. Let's go to there. So the ship is completely cut off, so we're going to have to complete this mission now. That be for sure. What we got? Oh, an oasis. That is good. That is good. And the ship. That is better. Everyone was relieved to arrive at the oasis. A refuge of life surrounded by nothing but an endless ocean of sand. How's my water? 3. Let's take some more water and rest. We decided it'd be a good idea to stay here, and I told the people to rest. It was a warm and starry night. Now a Yogel told me she used to hunt in these lands. Our path should be clearer now. Okay, it's a different island to what you were brought upon, but never mind. I'm sure she's telling the truth. Rest, 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 rest. Oh, got some natives near. As much as I wanted to stay, adventure was calling us. I would miss the cool air by the oasis water. Once more wouldn't go amiss. It was a warm and starry night. While I took a well-deserved rest, Captain Newton Catley approached me with a small offering. It was a rare flower of both great beauty and scientific value. I was touched by the kind gesture. I did not know if it had been offered as a gesture of friendship or to add to our collection, but it was a fine thing to do in either case. Ah. Tick, tick, tick. Stop resting. No need to rest anymore. We could have easily spent weeks resting here. The oasis had been a perfect resting spot. It had indeed. Let's crack on, shall we? So, yeah, let's go to there. Drink that water, and let's have a look in the shipwreck. I came across an outstanding discovery, the wreck of what looked like an old pirate ship. I couldn't help but wonder how it had come to rest here. The ship looked like it might still contain valuable supplies, but the rotten planks of the vessel would make the search quite dangerous. And as you can see, we now have a skill check. Search thoroughly. I mean, I don't fancy my odds. If it was just the 1 die, then possibly, but 2 die, even if I was to throw the torch in, is still not that good. So let's just do a quick search. Oh, so we have a tribal artifact and some dynamite. So, interesting thing with the tribal artifact, you can study to learn a way of the tribe. It gives you a tribe trait. Should we do it? Let's do it. The artifact clearly depicted a warlike people. I would have to be wary. Such an aggressive tribe could be dangerous. And as you can see, you have still got it. And it hasn't lost any fame or monies. One for a better word. Value. That's the better word. So it's worth doing that if you ever come across those. We do, however, need to carry on going down. So let's see what's down here. Oh, it's the village. Oh, we've got our first scroll. What is it? Renewal scroll. Returns the surrounding area to the state it was in when you arrived on the island. Oh. Interesting. So, if I was to click that, is all this water going to disappear? No. Okay. Oh, never mind. Upon arrival, some villagers were busy decorating a peculiar-looking idol that stood in the centre of their settlement. Oh, look, I've got one just like that. The villagers seemed suspicious, but remained polite. So, we can rest, we can trade, we can steal the idol, or we can leg it. Let's see what they got. A woman from the village unrolled a mat and revealing the village's trade goods. What y'all got? So, they have a spear, which we can equip. That's pretty handy. We've got a leafy sprig, a small twig with a few leaves carefully arranged to blend in with the environment. A surprisingly effective camouflage. Oh, okay. That's a body thing. We have trinkets for loyalty, but we're okay for loyalty. We have cocoa leaves for sanité with a backfire chance of 10%. It's nice that you can actually see what the chances of you going doolal these days, which is nice. Leaves an interesting adrenalizing effect. We have the teeth, which again we don't need to worry about. We have throwing axes and more water. So ideally, I suppose the spear and the leafy sprig would be good. Would be good. What would we trade though? I mean, the leafy sprig is on sale, so that's pretty cool. There's not a lot I would get rid of in all fairness. It's 25, isn't it? So it's 25 or it's 50 for both of them. So if we could get rid of 50, so that would be the euphoric mushroom, the introspection mushrooms, and the dynamite. For those two. Deal. I'll take it. I came to an agreement with the villagers. Awesome. So let's go to our party. For the sake of, I don't think it matters who you throw these on in all fairness at this point. So we'll give the extra die to our leader and put the leafy sprig on him as well. Because he's a game hunter. He needs to be camouflaged. Awesome. And, well, let's go. I mean, we could have a go at stealing the idol. Again, I don't think I've got the die right now to be able to do it properly. So I'm not even going to embarrass myself by trying. The next day I caught a glimpse of a villager in the distance. We packed up and headed out as new adventures awaited us. The natives stared as I departed. So we are being followed. So anything naughty we do, we will be held accountable. I think we just need to crack on going forwards at this point. If we can get up on this hill here, it might give us a good lay of the land both north and south. of where we are. Indeed it does. Not a lot going on to the north, at least what I can see. So let's head to the south, not through the tar pits. Not through the tar pits. I mean, there's a jerkiness right now. Now, again, this game is in early access. I don't know if that jerkiness is due to like a volcano going off somewhere and it rattling the screen, or, well, whether it's just jerky in general. Approach stone circle. We came across a formation of ancient stone markers. Arcane inscriptions painted upon each rock seem to indicate some sort of map. So we found all the settlements. We've apparently found all the ruins. So it's just camp points left. I'm not too fussed taking a standing hit for the sake of finding some camp points, as our whiskey level right now is all right. So we'll leave here. We'll just claim experience. And I think, seeing as we're coming up to about the half-hour mark, I'm going to leave the episode here. We shall pick it up straight away in the next one. So thank you for watching. As always, a like is appreciated. And I will indeed catch you in the next one. Take it easy.